So today we're going to have a little look at some maintenance and training of our tomato plants. Mine are ready for the side shoots to be pinched out and then they need to be tied in again. And we're looking at a picture of a side shoot coming out from the center of the picture there. To the left there's a main stem that needs tying in, and to the right there's the leaf, and the side shoots come out of the leaf joint, and you can see a fairly small one there sticking there almost upright. We need to remove these on cordon varieties, not the bush type tomatoes, but we'll come back to that in a minute. So I'm just having a look here. There's quite a big side shoot coming out of this leaf joint, which I'm going to take out, and I'm going to be looking up the plant, and you can see the first flowers there actually starting to form, and cordon varieties that have to be pinched out will keep producing more flower trusses as they grow upright. And if you leave all these side shoots on, what you end up with is a really overloaded plant that has a tendency to snap. It's more tendency for diseases. And actually the tomatoes, all the energy from the plant, the tomatoes are smaller because the energy has to be distributed through more tomatoes that it produces. And to be fair, it will produce more, but they don't ripen very well because there tends to be a lot of leaves and stems in the way. So I'm just checking this one for the variety to make sure it is a cordon and not a bush. And then as we're doing the same to this one, there's one coming from the base of the plant. I don't want that to compete with the main shoot, so I'm taking that one off. And I'm just sorting out here which is the main stem, because the side shoot here is quite large, but you can see it clearly sitting between where the leaf comes from the main stem. Here's the leaf now. I'm just putting it all upright, taking that side shoot out. You might need a pair of snips if they're large and you haven't done this quite at the right time. But you can see there's some flowers there already open, and then another set of flower buds starting to be produced higher up, and they'll continue to do this. And another name for a cordon is indeterminate, which means that they'll carry on growing and producing as they get taller, whereas the bush types or determinate types tend to reach a certain height and then fruit from the top down, and they tend to fruit and ripen more or less all at once. I'm just also taking off some lower leaves that have gone a little bit green. That's yellow. That's quite normal. The plant will actually move the nutrients up to the growing point, so the lower leaves naturally start to drop off, and you can take them off because again they're more likely to get diseased and get blight from the soil. And here my very last one on the row, and I planted this bush type there deliberately, is a super Roma, and most of the Roma types, which are the big plum tomatoes, are bush types or determinate. The other ones that are frequently bush types are the tumbling tomatoes. And here I'm trying a slightly different system because I saw them grown like this in Spain, high up in the mountains on these little tripods. So I just thought I'd give it a go and compare the two systems really. These are ready to be pinched out as well. And you can see the mulch there on the ground. I shall need to put some more down, but I'm going to put some food on first. The mulch will help with nitrogen, but they also need phosphorus and potassium, so I'm going to put some pelleted chicken manure on before it rains. And here I've just gone over to my bean bed, and here are my chickpeas. You can see those little balloon-like pods. They only ever have 2 chickpeas in at the most, and they're quite fiddly to pod them. However, the green peas are really tasty, but I wouldn't bother growing them for drying because they're so cheap to buy. And there are my sugar snap peas as well, and you can just see there's some self-seeded squashes which I'm going to allow to grow because the sugar snaps are quite short-lived, and when I take them out the squashes will take over.